Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. How are we today? Yes, yes, I'm doing well here, and I'm actually still in bed. Yeah, I was just, I've been up for a while now, and I'm feeling pretty good. I had a very, very busy day with Lavender, Lavi for short. Yes, my little boy, my little Pekingese boy, little doggy. Yes, he had his follow up exam and he got groomed and he looks so adorable. Yeah, he has a little lion cut. I'll probably show a little video of him, you know, later on in the day so you can see his little haircut. It looks adorable. We're okay. Yeah, it was a busy day yesterday. I had to drop him off, go back home. Oh, go to the store to buy meat for Lavender. I bought several kilograms, 3 kilograms of ground beef. It was a pricey. It was kind of pricey. I got at a place walking distance from the veterinarian. So I said, I don't want to go where I usually go. That's way in the opposite direction. I just wanted to um, walk to the store, then take the moto home and just chill out at home, have my breakfast, or I should say my lunch, and then wait for the call for Labby and to pick him up and come back. So it was all good. So today is Saturday. Hello, Saturday. It is Saturday, June 14th, 2025. It's approximately, I think, 7:30 in the morning. Yes. And I see, my my curtains are closed, and I see that it is sunny outside right now. Yeah. And you want to take it easy. I'll probably go to the little patio later on, and just chill out. Yeah. What I want to talk about today. Okay. Um, I want to talk about, as you see, will this be the day to remember? Yeah. Today is DJT, our 40, 45 and 47 president. Um, it's his birthday. Yeah, it's his birthday. And there was a YouTuber that I watch a lot. He was addressing the issue about it being number 47's birthday. And he showed some concern. Yeah, I have some concern too, in light of what was spoken about. Um, you had like the YouTuber that I watch, he was he shared a video with Florida. Yes, Florida. I've worked in Florida before for about 9 months. Yeah. It was I think a sheriff, and he put it on the table, so to speak. And he wanted to make sure that there is no doubt on what he means. He said, those of you who want to come here to Florida, yes, hello, viewer. He said, any of you who want to come down to Florida to do any of these things, if you come here and you spit at us, um, and it was like a threat. What did it say that you'll be buried or something like that? Yeah, but pretty much he was saying with certain things, you attempt to do certain things, you're gonna be in a body bag. Yeah, so if you spit on him, on the police, there is a consequence. If you block traffic, in like a mob rule. Oops, sorry, I forgot to touch the screen. Sure. Sorry. You have to remember to keep touching the screen. Oh shit, I didn't want to do that. Boy, the thing just got smaller. I'm just trying again. Ah, oh, the screen got small. I don't know how to make it big again. Oh God, I can't stand that. Can't stand that. Oh well, it happened. I like a bigger screen. I don't know how to change it. Okay, but either way, um, yeah. They were very specific. You block the road. You spit at the cops. You use Molotov cocktails to destroy property. And they told them specifically what they will do to you. These law enforcement um, in Florida. Yeah, I do not know definitively whether there's going to be a parade. Where is it? I don't know whether it be. Is there something in Florida or is it just going to be DC? Well, I understand there's going to be a parade, but it's going to look like, see, I don't want to give wrong information, but something that I was told uh, through videos on social media that, okay, on the 14th, June 14th, there's going to be a birthday celebration for our president. And I think it's going to have uh, some type of military theme or something. It's supposed to be very big. And I did vote for our president. I did. And I mean, I voted for him, but I don't want to vote for, I voted for because I thought he did a good job the first time. And I didn't feel comfortable with the current, and the then prior to his, the administration prior to him. Um, but I do not promote um, anything outside of the Constitution. You know, just because someone is in power, don't abuse power. Whether I like them or not, you don't abuse your powers. So I'm hoping that yeah, if there is going to be a celebration, everybody likes a good birthday party, right? Don't we like a good birthday party? I mean, honey, I love a birthday cake. Yeah, I like, what kind of cake I like? I like uh, chocolate cake with whipped cream. Yeah, and then ice cream on the side of it, a la mode. Yeah, that's what I like. I like real whipped cream. You don't like those places. They don't use real anything anymore. Yeah, I'm an old fashioned cook. Like my old fashioned cake with real whipped cream. That's me. So yeah, we all like a good party. And so yeah, he'd be, oh about that. Would it be 79? I'm not sure. I think yeah, 78 now. I think he'd be 79 years old. Wow. Um, yeah, I see that we all saw, he had tripped up the stairs. Remember, he was going on to his what we call Air Force One, and he tripped. But and you notice, like, he was going up the stairs very carefully. Honey, I know I get wiped out just going walking to the store, right? This person, he's traveling to different countries, different time zones. And did you know that will put a stress on your body? Yeah. So I noticed like he went up the stairs. It was his left foot that it didn't, it was pointing downward. It didn't like flex the foot, that left foot, and that caused him to trip. Um, and also at that same moment, his we call it Secretary of State. Also, at that time, as he was behind Trump, he tripped also. Yeah. So isn't that ironic? I wonder whether, was something done to the stairs for both of them to trip. I don't know, people. Oops, sorry, my phone just got. Okay, forgot to touch the screen. Yeah, so what's going on, people? What is going on? Um, yeah, um, even with number 46, Biden, he had a lot of falls, and I, I, I care about the weak, and elderly. I was not a Biden fan, but I in no way want anybody uh, getting hurt. You know, people could do bad things, but I don't wish them harm like that. No. Um, he was placed in that seat for a reason, Biden. And in my opinion, he was placed in there to um, pull down our country. And that, I feel that, well, um, I would say that he received a lot of mercy because what could have happened to him. Um, but I love my country. I love America. I never really thought that way until number 45 and 47 came into office. I'm being honest, people. I always felt orphaned. I didn't feel like I belonged. But when Trump came into office, for the first time, I felt included. And I loved it. I loved how I felt. I loved, I mean, it has its history. I'm not erasing its history. It has a very ugly, ugly history, but it's still my home. Just like people have come from families, and people could come from wicked families, but they still love their family, right? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing for me. And I guess with the YouTube who shared about the upcoming uh, Trump birthday party that's going to be today. We're 6 hours ahead here in Rwanda, where I live. Yeah, we're 6 hours ahead here. So I don't know what time this parade thing is going to be. Yeah, does anybody know? It'll probably be like probably the afternoon hour time. Is there's some parade there? Yes, I would imagine 4 o'clock our time in Rwanda, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe then, but we'll see. We'll see. I have a feeling it'll be around that time. So, towards the end of the day, my work day, so to speak, here, probably the parade would be. But people, I love America. And yes, I'm not there anymore, I'm not living there anymore, but it's still my country. And it doesn't have a perfect history, but what place does? But please don't do anything foolish, people. It's not worth it. The Florida law enforcement, they warned you. They warned anybody who's coming into Florida to protest. And again, there's nothing against a peaceful protest or demonstration, whatever. Peaceful protest. Please don't be foolish. Please mind your manners, people. Stop doing foolishness. It's not worth it, people. Stay at home. Relax. Have a bit of cake and ice cream. You want to don't do anything foolish. Just like with remember uh, January, what was it, January 6th? Don't do anything stupid. Look, you you don't have to love somebody. You don't have to like certain people. You're entitled to your opinions. You know, don't abuse the rights that are given to you. You have a right to protest. You can like who you want to like and dislike who you want to dislike. But please do not commit acts of violence. Do not be spitting on people. Do not be damaging properties. These things are considered violent. You know you wouldn't want someone to do those things to you, right? And especially property. Did you know that someone got to replace those things that you damage or destroy? This is not healthy for our economy. Remember, we have a very fragile economy right now. We need to save money, and by you damaging the streets, committing arsons, uh, hurting people, beating up people, all that costs. People got to go to the hospital. People got to, you know, let's stop this violence. Stop it at the root. Just stop it. Stay at home. Sorry, my phone went out again. Yeah, people, just stay at home. Stay at home. Okay. Yeah, love where you live and obey the rules. Yes, obey the rules. There are people out there. See, I'm seeing it, the pattern. They were showing videos of people in, protesting, and they were having people who are from Mexico or Mexican heritage, and they saying, well, California's ours. It was ours first. Maybe parts of California was invaded by the Spaniards. Remember, Spain, France, Germany, all those other places. These are all European powers. See, people forget that the Spaniards are European, they're white Europeans. And you may think, oh, we're the British or the Germans, whatever. These are the bad white people. Well, Spain is no different. Spain, it was no difference in how they really treat, they conquered. They conquered a lot of land. But, the Stockholm Syndrome, they identify with their oppressors. And so maybe in the history, parts of California, a lot, the streets, the names of places are in Spanish. But the fact that the other Europeans, from whether it be from Britain, people of British ancestry, German ancestry, Irish ancestry, a new nation was formed out of many different European powers. Uh, it isn't right what these powers did, but Spain was no different. Spain was no different. Spain arrived first in the exploitation and human trafficking. But don't forget that Spain was a participant in that evil. Um, so at the riots there, they had interviewed some people of Mexican ancestry, and they were doing some of the individuals. They were doing acts of violence, and they said we want to take back. It's ours. But one thing that they cannot say. See, if you're saying that it belonged to Mexico first, but again, there is a place called Mexico, and they were living there, and they left, these Mexicans, to come to America. And America has more opportunities, and that's the issue. See, you can have people like that that say, well, it was Mexico first, but they didn't develop it. They did not develop it. They did not develop this part of California or Texas to the glory that it is. If, they have a place called Mexico and they need to develop there. They need to develop there. And if you look at the people who are in power in that country, look at the people who are in government. Now, do these people look like the general population? No. Look at the person who just got in the office in Mexico. And again, I'm not anti Mexican, anything like that. I'm just, when you see what the people look like, because what the lady in the video who's saying that Mexico was, I mean, California was Mexico first, would belong to Mexico first. Okay, she may be right about that. But okay, the person who's talking um, does not look like somebody who's in power in Mexico. And what it looks like in Mexico is really no different than in America. You have people of Anglo-Saxon ancestry who tend to always be in the White House. But the same as Mexico. Look at the people in government Mexico. When I first saw what the leader in Mexico looked like, I said, "Oh my God, is that real? Is that true? Is that really true? That's what the president looks like?" And now they just got a new one, a lady. Yeah, and her ethnicity, she looks totally different than the so-called Mexicans that you see flooding the southern states. They're also a lot in New York, all over the Northeast. They're all over. Do you think that there's going to try to be like a coup of these migrants or any migrant who want to seize control over America? Yeah, America is the diamond of the planet, so to speak. I mean, it is in comparison to other countries. It's one of the wealthiest. It has a system. Like you lose your job in America. If you don't get fired because of stealing something like that, but you get laid off, whatever. You get unemployment insurance, and that can help you. If you have bad times, whatever. They have welfare and food stamps. How many other countries has that, people? Does Mexico have that? Do they? Does Africa have it? Does Asia have it? No, not that I know of. But America does have it. Despite the history of America, it still is a place of opportunity, and it's a place that has a lot of social systems, but you just got to find out about it. Yeah, they're like handicapped people. In at least in New York City, you have like a physical handicap. A handicap. You can get a discount, a compensation for that, for let's say an apartment. Hello, yeah, America has a lot of benefits, a lot of goodly benefits for its legal people. Legal, that is the term legal. So everybody sees the big Santa Claus here in America, and then they want it. It's like all of a sudden they want what looks good to them. They like the paved roads. They like the street lights to direct traffic. Um, they have a solid school system for the masses, free education, for mandatory uh, education for its children, from kinder, from elementary school to high school. Yeah, it's mandatory. So Some places they don't have education. Your kids stay at home, they're illiterate, but at least there's systems here in place. It's just corrupted now. It's just a system that has been more and more corrupted, that people go into what they call public office to be public servants, but they're not serving the public, they're serving themselves. They hire friends and they just sit and do absolutely nothing. And that's what was going on, like especially in the Biden administration. Yeah, all those companies are being shut down, not companies, departments, the government agencies or entities, and the Doge was removing them. They were stealing. They set up systems to employ their friends and things like that. And so Doge just trimmed the fat. Um, so I have no problem with trimming the fat from people who we do have to um, do something about our budget. We're overspending, and it's putting us more and more in debt. And I mean, don't we remember what happened with COVID? We were in, companies were losing money. Companies, at least in New York City, where I was from at that time, um, yeah, businesses were shutting down in the masses. And then, like, all of a sudden, like in 2023, 2022, 2023, new businesses replaced them. I don't know how they were able to replace them because, see, what was going behind the scene just a few years earlier, companies were shutting down because the landlord increased their rates, their rent so high they could not compete. So it's like an enslavement. It's a system that is to put us in bondage. And that's what leads to this second part of this talk. Yes, yes. Someone had shared with me a video, and it was about this Jesuit who, oh, I don't remember the name of this Jesuit, but he theorized that he saw I'm going to call it the a type of matrix system, like the movie The Matrix, the first one, and he came to the conclusion, as I do as well, that the oops, phone just went out. Yeah, that the entities, that the system is controlled by these unseen forces, and that religion is a way, a tactic, how they control us. And I believe that too. I believe that Jesuit hit it on the head. Oh, yes, there's a system in place, and it governs everything we do. It's it's a system, an invisible system that has us get emotional. Um, that it can make us sad. It can cause wars, and they feed off of our energies. Could you imagine? Some time ago, someone just shared the video with me, and that's what it was saying basically. And religion is one of the tools that it uses, and even the reincarnation trap that it'll present to you people um, on the other side that look like relatives and things like that. And they suggest that this can be a trap too, to get you to go to where they want you to go, to get reabsorbed and recycled. Wouldn't it, do you think maybe the animals also, like I have a little doggy, And you know that some you can see that they're dreaming. They could like bark in their sleep and they look like they're running, their little legs are moving. They're dreaming. So where are they? Where are they? Are animals in the matrix too? I'm wondering, people. Yeah, everything. And you know what else I think is part of the matrix thing? And I talked about this before about harnessing the monetary system. The monetary system, yeah, it's a big one. I've been noticing it more and more and more these days. The monetary system. Look who controls the money. Look who controls religion. It's like the same type of people controlling both. But the monetary system, um, it's, money's not really real, but yet we're all fighting to get this money. The wars, the conflict that's happening in America now. Why? What is all this conflict? What is it really about? Why are people entering America? The common people who are coming into America. Money, money, because they don't have it and they want it. They want richness. They want opportunity. But the key thing is to obtain money. But money is not real. Money is not real. They create money out of thin air. And they can also destroy money. Like when money gets so called money, here we think it's real. And then when money, like American money, when it gets kind of old, the bills, they burn it and then they make up new money. So if money is real, where did that money go when they burn it? Well, it's like monopoly. It's not real. But it feels real, doesn't it? It feels real. And that's how they control people through the monetary system. They created this first didn't they use gold before, gold and silver? And then these people, these entities created what do they call it, banknotes or something? Uh and it's supposed to represent true value of money, of gold and or silver, right? But not anymore. And now don't you notice like the word Bitcoin? That is an electronic money, right? That also Bitcoin it seemed to be created out of thin air. And you know what happened? I watched this documentary on this couple, this real freaky acting couple, man, man and a woman, and they had confiscated uh, billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and the federal government is on their tail. They don't know who broke into the code, who broke the code to get access to it. They don't think it was actually that couple, but they at least obtained the electronic money, Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is part of that system of control that they want to eliminate our money, but slowly. They want to eliminate it and then just enforce a type of a Bitcoin or, everything done on your smartphone or computer, these transactions. Well, what if you can't pay your electric bill and you can't charge your phone? Let's say you can't afford a phone, a smartphone. Well, let's say your religion or your system of belief said, you don't want to be dependent on some phone to handle your monetary affairs. Even everything you go, to a business, they ask for your email. Well, what if you don't have an email? What if you don't want an email? You know? So you see slowly and slowly, slowly, this system of control, multiple controls. And money was introduced, the paper money was introduced some time ago, but it ain't real. Remember, I think it was was it the early 1930s? It was something early that time. And there was a law that was passed in America, a law that said that the public could not own gold. And the government confiscated the people's gold and never gave it back. Don't you think they're going to do that again? They can say, hey, paper money is not allowed anymore. And if you have it, we're going to confiscate it. They can say that they can confiscate your money. Or they can say, we're going to confiscate your money, your dollar bills, in a clever way. We're going to say any bill that's a certain age, or let's say a certain number on that bill, is zero. So they might say, so you have to turn in your money, and we're going to replace your money with a type of Bitcoin. So no paper money will be of any value. See, that's another way how people, because some people hide their money at home. They don't want to put it in the bank, and I don't blame them. They want access to their money. But what if you say, hey, we're not going to have the banks as we know it. It's going to be on a system. Excuse me. Let me get some water. I'm sorry. Let me get some water. Sorry about that, people. Yeah, they can do that. They can do that. So no, we're not going to use those bills anymore. It's not of value. Well, when they made it had a value, how could money decrease in value? How can say that day one it's you could use it and then day two they can't? You know, so they can say that. So if they change the system, first they said you can't own gold, and then they created this money system that's no longer backed by gold. So what is it backed by? And then now they're introducing a new system. And now it seems to be like the Bitcoin. Even overseas, they do mobile money. Yeah, it's a cashless. And that is here in Africa. Yeah, it is. Yes, they have the bills, but a lot of transactions uh, using your smartphone. What if that's what their goal is around the world? They'll do work on one area at a time to disrupt it and then impose this new system of exchange. I mean, I think like it feels like it's almost like a game that's being done upon us, a virtual reality game, and it's not. It doesn't feel real. After a while, it's like I feel like sometimes like I'm in within a system, and I'm watching people, and it's like you're watching our behavior. We act certain ways, and you go, what's controlling us? Well, one thing that is controlling us is the monetary system. And you see people like in the third world, and they're like scavenging for an existence because they don't have the money. But see, we're not born into it's not a natural system. And the natural system is maybe bartering. You borrow money. You take a real thing and you exchange it from a real thing. You know, someone got apples and they exchange it to someone got oranges. See, those are real values because it's something that you use. But there's a hoarding and a hoarding of what we call money. And again, the money seems to be representative of human labor. Human labor. And the banks gather these dollars, whatever, and now they're switching over those dollars, which represent human labor. Because remember, you work per hour, your labor is worth X amount of money per hour, right? That's how some people they work on. Was that salaried worker? You know, and it represents our work effort. Money represents our work ethic, work effort. Um, and then it is harnessed, gathered in what we call banks. So where does gold not, Fort Knox, right? We have this thing called Fort Knox. And you've seen videos of people actually taking the cash and burning it. They gather it and then they say, oh, it's getting too old. And then they burn it and they create other money, paper money. But where is the goal? So I'm thinking like banks, it's like a cell, like a battery cell. It represents our energy power. Money is representative of our physical effort at a task. And that's why it's being monitored. Your labor is being monitored. And then at some time, I speculate that someone, the harvester, is here and they're coming to gather these energies. I've talked about things like this before in the past. Remember that video I did about, I was looking out my window. I lived in a place I had a fantastic view of the city. And then it dawned on me, I noticed that a lot of the buildings were square in shape, square or rectangle. And I said, you know, the shapes of these buildings are shaped this way because it traps energy, our life energy, and it's being stored like a battery. And a lot of these places that got an antenna, right? Look at these buildings. Look at them and see if they have an antenna attached to these high rise buildings that you would see in big cities like New York City. And I said, oh my God, this is an antenna. This is a battery cell. That's why they want everybody living in the cities because it's a more concentration of energy. And then you can gather, so some entity could then gather the energies in these cities and then harvest it. And I think when the cities, inner cities and like things like that get really radical, get violent because there's a too much concentration of energy and we're sensitive to these energies. And when it explodes, so to speak, these energies, because it's too intense, um, violence occurs. Don't you notice they want everybody to live in these cities? And who primarily in America lives in these inner cities? But Black people. And melanin gathers energy more than paler skins. And I'm not trying to sound racist or anything like that. No, 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 no. I'm going strictly biology. You take a cloth, you take a white cloth and a black cloth. Which one is going to get hotter faster? Which one's going to hold more heat? The dark color one. And the white reflects energy. Hear that? White reflects energy. So it's not gathering. But Black people or darker skinned people, regardless of their so-called race. Darker skin absorbs energy, and I think that is why blacks historically, at a particular era in time, was utilized in the slave trade because we are gatherers of energy. In generally stronger. We can endure in the heat because we are indigenous to this planet, and others are not the first inhabitants, but their genetics were modified. Yeah, modern geneticists, oh, they'll tell you right off. Yeah, they don't know where the white race comes from. They really don't know. I mean, they kind of, sort of, they kind of came in this Central A, but they really don't know the origins of the white race. Oh, they know the origins of the black race. There's never a doubt about where they come from, but genetically there was a change in their genetics, and I think that change, which is in my opinion, what it seems to suggest that there was an invasion to the planet, and their genetics were tweaked. And even in a certain literature with the Anunnaki, they talk about that there was change in the genetics, right? It's not that they created something that wasn't there. They took what was there on the planet and then they modified it. And these people are who control your life. They created an artificial system, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. And again, I'm not here to put shame on humans, but I'm just noticing certain things that have occurred in history, and that these beings that were genetically modified are put into different environments, and you notice that they tend to always control over the other people who are usually of darker color. Look at India. Look at India. I mean, that India is an extremely old country. Their history goes so way before what they call the Western European, and they can be jet black in color. These Indians, but don't you notice the way that they look? Their facial features, or many of them, they're from the what do you call it, the Aryan race. The Aryans come from India, that area, and we call Dravidians or something like that, or the Dravidians. I forget the pronunciation. But these were a particular people, you know, and they have a lot of technology in India, man. They are very. They have. I love their cooking. They are master craftsmen. Yes, they have the art of textile. They know what, like jewelry making. They know about cooking. They're on top of it, India. But they have a system called the caste system. No, no, caste and a class system. A caste system, you're born into a system and you cannot get out. You cannot even marry out. It is so rigidly structured in India. And then they have a religious system uh, which talks about reincarnation, and that how they justify the behavior is that, well, you must have done something in your past life, so it's good for you. So it's teaching people to not be compassionate upon other people. And this religion or philosophy dictates everything they do, and it dictates how they treat women. Look how they treat women in these places. It's horrible. So even though they have a lot of skills, they have a lot of technology, they're intelligent people, they're hardworking, but they have a slave system there that's called the caste system is a type of slavery, and everybody's is in their own category of slavery, but they're all under this under a big umbrella, but with different levels, and they'll do anything to keep the system. It's very sad, I think. I mean, such a beautiful people, but man, the corruption that happens, and yes, there's corruption in America, there's corruption worldwide, but I'm just trying to say that there's a system that was introduced to humanity, and they wrote about some of these things that happened in early history, that there was an invasion, and even in the Indian literature about these, I think Vamadas, I think it's called Vamada, something like that. Please excuse my mispronunciation in these words, but they're crafts, space crafts in modern day language, and they're documented in India in their literature. They have drawings of what these flying things look like, you know. So go figure, And you look at the phenotype of the Indians. They could be jet black in color, but the features are different. They don't necessarily look like, I mean, some segments in the Indian population, in Asia, India, that they look, some of them have a black features component to them, but many of them have what they call Caucasian uh, or or Dravidian or Aryan look. So it's really interesting, you know. Um, but it's a system that is in place, and that leads me to something else in this whole entrapment theory of this system that was introduced years ago that is used to oppress us. The money system is artificial, and this thing called civilization is not your friend. It's civilization was introduced. It's like a terraforming. You have the natural order of things in nature, and then this outer system invaded the planet, in my opinion, and taught us secrets. They might have taught you medicine. They taught you how to use iron tools to cultivate the land, even smartphone, right? They're inventing things. But these things are not your friends, people. These things that they are creating, they were created to enslave you, people. Yes, that's the common theme that I see. They created the automobile, right? Allegedly, Edison created electricity, learned to harness electricity. But some of these people, there were people before them, but they didn't get the credit. Like Thomas Edison, he got credit for something that someone else learned how to harvest. Okay, and the what about the automobile utilizing uh, gasoline? So they say, hey, let's create something, and it's going to create a need. And you notice after each world war, that humanity became more and more dependent on these things. Like it was a war to end all wars. Remember that they were saying that it was a war to end all wars. World War One was a war to end all wars, and then just a couple of years later, World War Two, a war to end all wars. What happened in World War Two? Well, they got the television set. Sorry, there's some noise outside. They have they have television, and they were introducing movies, TV movies like Let's Make Room for Daddy. Remember that show? Oh no, yeah, let's just a moment. someone was at my window. That's what happened. Yeah, he was at my window. Yeah, I had to stop talking. Yeah, some things happened. Yeah, I had to should record him. Yeah, he was at my window. I was at my window. I guess he heard me talking. Yep, I'm gonna, shit. Yeah, he left. Yeah, yeah, I had to report, talk to my manager of this building that I live in. Because someone wasn't doing their work. Someone wasn't doing their work. And I told them, I showed a video of what was not done to back me up, to always back up what I say. Yeah, he was at the, because see, I have the curtains closed. I have the curtains closed. And I see his head. And he's like, stick. He want to know where I am. That, you know what, Ben? I'm getting out of my bed. Yeah, I'm in my room right now. See something, just a moment. Yeah, I was seeing his head. He was there for a while. I see him. He had walked past. Yeah, that was it. But let's see what time it is. I don't know what time it is. Yeah, I just saw him. He was listening. Yeah, I make sure I close everything. I'm in the kitchen now. Shit. Yeah, I'm gonna report that. Okay, I see him. I see him now. Yep, he better do his job. I see him. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just looking right now. Yeah, that is a notice. Why is he? His head was right by. Looked like he was peeking through, trying to peek through the curtain. Yeah, I had the curtain. It's completely covered, but his head's right there. There's nothing there. Let me. Yep, I see him. Okay. Oh, he's doing his work. I see him doing work now. Yeah, he's picking up the twigs and stuff. Yeah, people. I'm going to report that. Yeah, he said, let me see anything. I'm back. I'm back in my room. Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, his head was right by the window. You see his head on the lower part. There's nothing for him to be there. It's right there. I'm gonna report that. I don't like that. Oops. Sorry, the screen just got dark. Yeah, what time is it now? Let me find out what time it is. I'm gonna document this. I'm gonna document this. Let me see what time. Look at my. Okay, it's 8. It's almost 8. About 8:30. I just say 8:30. Okay. Sorry. I'll fix that later. Oops. Yeah. Why is his head just there? I should have pulled the thing over his head. Hey! Yeah, his head. There's someone, he put his head, like my curtains are closed, right? And it's real sunny outside. And that it was like going up, like he was like listening. Mm-mm-mm. Well, well. Yeah. Yeah, see, people, what I did, now I gave him a chance. I like the guy. I like the guy. He's a little guy, and he has a child, a little child. And, but um, like many of the houses and stuff, you live in a place, um, they have a groundskeeper, person that tends the lawn and everything. I don't have anybody inside the house. No, no, I didn't want to. Just um, it comes with the, you know, my paying my rent. They had someone to take care of the garden, and they had several people already. Um, and so, like, he wasn't doing any work, or he does a little thing and then he stops. And but lately, I videotape what wasn't done. Like the last straw, like yeah, 2 days ago, but like bubble gum. Okay, bubble gum was thrown on the floor, out in the path, by the house, right by the house. Like the house has like a little path, thing that you could walk on, so you can walk around your property. And bubblegum, new bubblegum was, I don't, not bubblegum, chewing gum. I do not have. I don't. I haven't had chewing gum maybe in 40 years. Okay, how did that get on my property? And then there was these white paper bags, and it was on the lawn for about 2+ weeks. And then all of a sudden, these mulch or something that's just scattered on the lawn, and it really looked bad. And there was this toilet paper tubing on the ground. So I contacted the management of the property, and I showed them the video of the things that I want picked up. And it's looking shabby. And then I get up yesterday and nothing was done. The management said, "Oh, we I got home late, the um, and the person's phone was shut off, so I couldn't notify him." And she said, I'll call him now. I also CC the owner. Yeah, if I send the manager, I also send the owner of the property. And yeah, I sent the owner of the property. And he contacted me yesterday. And he just, always get my proof. And yeah, sent my proof, my video, show him. I said, look, this is the last straw. I said, this is disrespectful. I said, look, I like the guy, gave him a chance. He wasn't working, doing the property for 3 weeks, and it was looking shabby. And I was going to tell, notify you. Then all of a sudden, he starts to do his work. So it's okay. I give him another chance, okay? And then the thing with the bubble gum and the toilet paper thing, I said, that is disrespectful. And I'm not going to be disrespected. And if he doesn't pick it up, if he doesn't pick it up, I want him out and replace him. That's what I said. So now I see that he's up, but he was just at my window and he was listening. That's why I started to talk softer, and then I had to actually stop because I see his head. Because I have like this, the window open, but I have a screen, and I think he was trying to listen. He heard me talking. Yeah, they're really thick screen. You can't see a damn thing because I tested it out too. I tested it out what it looks like in dark time. I had all the lights in the house and see if you can see, and you can't see a damn thing. So I know he can't see, but I saw his head and he was bobbing up and down like he's, what, why was there for that long? He was still trying to listen. Well, he doesn't speak English. Okay. He doesn't he doesn't speak English, but either way, he wants to know if I'm in. I'm not going to deal with him. I'm not going to deal with him, and I'm not going to open the door for him either. Nope. See, I'm very fair, and I told him, I said, every day I want you to, you know, he's not doing anything. And it was really looking bad. And then he starts, okay. I don't know whether he read my mind, whether okay, I was getting upset. And then, boom, now it's back again. It's starting to look shabby. If he doesn't pick up that gun, that gun, I'm serious. I mean, people, when you throw gum and on the ground where someone can step on it and mess up it shows a lack of respect for the property. Yeah. And I let the owner know. I said, look, it's disrespectful. And I'm not going to have my place where I live disrespected and throwing the tube, what do you call it, toilet paper, the tube, the inner tube. Pick up the fucking thing. I said, look, every day before he leaves, he should walk around the property, make sure there's no garbage, whatever, and then go. But he comes. Now, I like the guy. I like him, you know, and he might be helpful and helping me with a little like if he sees that I'm like I'm growing little seedlings, he wants to help. And I pay him. I give him a little money because he's doing something for me, directly for me. So I know people could use money here, right? You know, I like the people here, but I'm not going to be taken advantage of. So he really should be focused on what he's being paid to do, right? Take care of the lawn, the owner's property, not my property. I can handle my own stuff. But if he wants to help, hey, I let him help and then I pay him, But that bubblegum thing, that pissed me off, people. It pissed me off. Would you want someone to throw bubblegum on your property? You're supposed to be working. He's on the phone. Um, yeah, he goes on the phone. Like he comes in, he doesn't come in and start working. He just sits. He's he got a new phone, a smartphone, and he just sits and watch. But see, I'm flex. I don't say anything. Just do your job. Okay, just as long by the time you leave in the morning, that is done. I'm real easy. You want to watch your video. I know I like my videos, but you better get your work done by the time you leave, right? So I felt that he was disrespecting, and he's getting paid. The owner is paying him, or the management is paying him. So I want them to know, hey, he ain't doing your job. He's not. You're paying him for him to do nothing, and that's a no-no. That is a no-no. So yeah, I got fit up and I let both people know. I said, look, he better pick up the bubble gum and the toilet paper roll because I don't use either. And if it's not picked up, please replace him. I'm serious about that. Yeah, I like him, but honey, you're not gonna do that. So now he's and so when I went out to investigate, well, I stayed in the house. I just peeked through the window to see what he's doing because I know he's here. Yeah, he's here, and I saw him with a big thing of these twigs in his hand. Yeah, do your fucking job. Do your job. I like the people here. Um, yeah, I don't like that his head. I'm going to report that. I'm going to report that you don't be eavesdropping, putting your head. His head right there. I can see it. I can see his bald head. I couldn't believe it. You could tell it was real, real close to um, to um, the window. Yeah. So yeah, a little drama today. Yeah, and it's not, yeah. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry I dragged you into that, but You see, my videos are always, my videos are real. You don't have to agree with the things I'm saying. That's okay. We all have different opinions. We all have different lifestyles. But I'm fair. And don't disrespect my property. I live here. And you clean up. You do. It's like, I'm made to look bad because, oh, I shouldn't complain because I don't make money. Well, I didn't make the agreement with them. I don't pay them. The owner does. The owner hires these people to work on your property if they're not doing anything. Wouldn't you want to know people if you hired someone whether they're doing their job, right? The owner lives in another country. And the manager, they're busy. They got a family of their own. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. And you can I'm seeing that. See, this is reality by certain things that you could um, pay someone. You can buy them food. Um, things like that. But it doesn't mean that that they respect you. You can give like the first person that was here. Now I liked him also. He was an older man. I used to give him my food, beverage to drink. When I see when I'm happy, I'm appreciative being in Africa. It's a beautiful country, and because I'm grateful that I'm here, and I'm grateful for the people here. Hey, I'm in a good mood. It's Sunday. Whatever. Hey, I'll if I make a meal, I share. Or if thirsty, I give him something to drink. But there was a no that happened when he tried to force his uh enter my apartment, my home. I said, I don't know what's going on with you. Yeah. Yeah, he was having a challenge. His wife is seriously sick. Was supposed to be in a coma or something like that. And I feel sorry for him. He's a good Christian guy, but something happened and he snapped. Yeah. And there was alcohol on his breath and he was acting bizarre. And then he tried to force his way in my home. Yeah. See that? So it didn't matter that when give food or, um, I show respect and I want to be received respect. But see, when when substances enter the picture, that's a no-no. Okay. And it can change anybody. It could change anybody. Um, yeah. So that first guy hasn't been here for about 7 months, maybe 7 months. Yeah. I really wish him well because I really liked him as a person. But when you're safety, and you know, the work ethic here. I mean, I love the people here, but sometimes that work ethic. See, again, this is all connected to this live stream that I'm talking about. It really is. See, the monetary system, what we call civilization, is a foreign entity. It is a foreign entity to the people. The native people, the black race, were the first inhabitants here on this planet. They did not have the monetary system in place. They lived off the land, like you heard of the hunters and gatherers. This is how God, the natural system worked it. People worked, people lived with families, you take from the earth what your daily portion, right? But civilization required you to gather more than you need and to restrict it and then make it impossible. You like a monopoly. And that is not a natural system. So these people here, you have people who from the original hunters and gatherers, right? And then this monetary system requires you to have money. But that original system didn't have money. And so I feel sorry for them because they are forced into a system that they don't control. And so they are frantic to try to gather uh, money through labor, that their labor now is being priced. Um, a value is placed on it. But let's say they work, and they just get pennies, and it's horrible. It's horrible. And you might say, well, why don't you just give them? Well, again, that is a good question. I didn't create this system. I'm just as much entrapped in it as everybody else on this planet. But some people are better at gathering this, what we call money. These billionaires, you notice, like these billionaires that are out there, and then you notice that they're creating things that for your dependency. Uh, like Elon. Now I don't think he's the first. He's not the inventor of an electric car. No, but he has a very large market on electric cars, and he was getting government contracts, right? And he also expand his business for aerospace, right? And so he is controlling a new market. And that's why he is a billionaire. They say he is the richest man on the planet, allegedly, right? That's what they say. Okay. But remember, you had Bill Gates. Remember, Bill Gates was told, was said to be the richest man on earth back in the 1990s. Remember that? Remember that. I remember that. I remember that. So it's really interesting how these things work. And you start analyzing and start noticing the pattern of where these people come from. Where does Elon Musk come from? Where does um, Bill Gates come from? What are their ancestry? That is a key question. And you look at the system, who controls the monetary systems on this planet, and why is there a hoarding of the gold? Who controls the gold market? It isn't with the what you call the Anunnaki in its literature. Well, I should say literature that's said that discusses about the Anunnaki. Don't they in the literature about them that that the people on the planet were used in forced labor to gather gold, and then it was to be stored and at a later time gathered by these beings. is that is that what is happening now with this new monetary system, that they are gathering that like the resources, the gold, that remember Trump wanted to see whether Fort Knox has the gold. Remember you hearing that? I don't know what the answer is. Did he find the gold? But either way, you have gold. You have things that is being stored somewhere. Why aren't you using the money like coins, the actual gold, and you make a coin out of it or something, right? But they're not doing it. Is this prison planet? I believe this, yeah, like what I mentioned in the get go, the prison planet that is to gather your energy, and money is a form, like a receipt of your energy that you expended. And then when you hand it to someone, and eventually that money gets gathered, isn't that money, isn't it being now like to translate that money into another type of currency, just like Bitcoin. The Bitcoins, people buy it with their so-called cash, or make a bank transfer, electronically, to purchase what they call Bitcoin. But they're taking what, regular money, and then you're purchasing it to buy this electronic money called Bitcoin. But we see that someone tried to, steal it. Remember a couple of months ago, I just saw a video on it, about maybe 2 weeks ago. There's this big heist, this Bitcoin heist. Bitcoin seems to be another new money system that they're showing now, that it is, like a heist. What are they going to do with all this money? People, don't you ever wonder why do you need all that kind of money? I mean, yes, you got thieves in the world. Yes, we all know we got them. But see, my understanding is that you have people, yes, who are thieves because they don't have money. They want to buy food or whatever, right? But when you go into the billions and billions, isn't this heist? Isn't it because of something else? And that's what I think it is all about. There's a new sheriff in town. There is it seems to me, a system, a new system of control that wants to take over this old system and replace it with something else, a new slave system. That's what I think. That's what I think it's all about. And um, I mentioned earlier in the live stream about our current president in America, that there's supposed to be a parade. Did you hear that also? Did you hear that it's supposed to be a parade um, being initiated? Um, and I think I mean, the pictures that they showed look like um, military stuff. I don't know. I mean, it should really be interesting. But I say, people, um, no matter what, if this new system is trying to take place, please don't fall for it. I mean, please do not do acts of violence. Do not do that, because see, they could be also doing these things. Sometimes people do particular behaviors because they want to see you react, and they want you to react in a negative way to excuse them to do uh, acts of control against you, like putting you in jail, right? Creating laws that, hey, if you do this law, this is going to be the consequences, or they're going to put in maybe a martial law, right? Martial law. That could happen, people. That could happen. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for it. You better stay at home. Excuse me. You got kids. You got teenagers. You got maybe people in their 20s, but still living at home. Keep them at home. Keep them at home. The systems are looking for an excuse to do things against your livelihood. Don't, just like, remember what happened January 6th. Don't fall for it. Did you know in January 6th, regarding the election thing, that you had people who weren't even in DC. They weren't even in DC. But because that they posted something on the internet, they arrested them. They arrested them. So don't people, don't contribute to the melee. Don't contribute to exciting people to violence. Do no violence. Stay at home. Read a good book. Watch a good movie. Have a cup of tea or something. Just chill out. Chill out. Relax. Keep your loved ones at home. There's no need for them to be out there throwing things, causing harm to property. To destroy property is a form of violence. Don't commit any acts of violence. And so, to protect yourself from harm, stay at home. Stay at home. Yeah, just do that. So, yeah, I've mentioned a lot of things here. I say I've been on for about an hour and a half. Yeah. I see that we have a viewer, and you're very quiet, and that's okay too. See, that's your right too to be quiet. Um, but I share these things because I think everything is related. So whether the parade, because uh, it's his birthday now. Yeah, June 14th is his birthday, and there may be a parade for him. And there are a lot of things happening at the border, people just getting ugly out there. And yeah, these are a time of change. And remember also early in the year about those orbs. Where do those orbs come from? I mean, what is that all about? You know, it's like it was all busy, busy, busy. Was it December and January? And then you don't hear anything. So where did they go? Where did it go? What were these things? Well, they say most of these things were um, man-made, but some people noted that there were substances coming out from these what do you call it? What do you call it? Those devices, those I forget what you call it. Those little things that fly around. I forget what you call them. But yeah, these things are being used, and I think it's all being, they're setting up for something. Uh, they're changing the weather patterns. You notice now there's a lot. You notice also there's a lot of planes that are crashing. Yeah, I heard about. I think it was Air India. They were only in the air for a couple of seconds, and it crashed. And only one survivor from that plane. He literally walked out of the plane. He sat in seat number 11, 11A. Could you imagine? 11 is an occulted number, and he survived. And they showed video of him walking, and then they had a photo of him in the hospital. Could you imagine? Over 200 people from that plane died and only one survivor. But there are also other casualties because it crashed into a um, with this university, some type of school, and then the flames were so big, it engulfed nearby buildings and really in bad shape. Awful. People's really awful. So yeah, people. Yeah, I think I don't think it's a coincidence that these planes are falling, and it's just like falling from the sky. Yeah, something is going on, and I guess the only thing that we can do, pray for your safety. Yeah. Um, yeah. Stay near your loved ones. Tell each other, that you love each other. Try to resolve any family conflicts, whatever. Yeah. Promote peace, people, because they want to turn the narrative and make us feel like we're enemies of each other. Don't do that. Don't fall for it. Yeah, sometimes sometimes it's better for me. I just stay at home. Some of the things can get a little kind of hairy out there. So I stay indoors for a couple of days, and maybe now I have to stay careful about with the person who works on the lawn. He was just looked like he was trying to poke his head in. You know, yeah, it looked very obvious what was happening. It looked like right at the window, right there. Yeah, he probably heard me talking, wants to know what I'm talking about. Well, that's a no-no, people. That is a no-no. See, I have to be careful now. Be careful what I say. Um, yeah, well, you warn people. He's warned for months. Yeah, months, and they don't. Some individuals just don't learn. They don't learn. And if I need to change the locks on the front gate, I will do that. Yes, I will. I don't want anybody coming back to try to harm this, no, don't need it. Don't need it and don't want it. Yeah. Just do what you're told to do, you know. Yeah, life is hard, people. But see, don't be foolish. See, you know that you got to do it. What, okay, here's a young child. What are you teaching your child when you don't do your job? You're teaching them failure. You're teaching them you don't have to work and they supposed to give me money because I'm the poor native. Don't do it. You'll stay poor forever if you have that mindset. Be an innovator. Teach your children how to be innovators. Teach them good work ethic, you know, um, because if not, you're going to be a slave for life, right? There are all different types of slaves. Don't be one, okay? Do what you're paid to do. And if you don't like it, find another job. It's that simple. That simple, But it's sad. It's sad, and I feel for them, but, don't disrespect me. Don't disrespect by throwing toilet paper, tubing, and bubble gum on the floor. And I don't play. I really don't play. I'm soft spoken. I'm real easygoing. I'll give you a chance. It's like about 8 months now. I give them eight. You know. So yeah, I care for the people here. I care about them, but just because what the the peasantry call me here. They call me a muzungo. Do you know that muzungo means white person? Could you believe that? I said I am no muzungo. That's an insult. I come to live in Africa because Africa is my original home. This is my homeland. Africa's my homeland. Things in America got really bad for me. And I got sick and tired of the sick and tired. I said, I'm moving back to Africa and to be called a Muzungo. Uh, I don't like that. I don't like that. And so it's like like, I mean, they're not really saying it as an insult, but as a descriptive, you know. Um, but sometimes I feel with some individuals that like um, They want to know what you have. And it was a young child, young, I think the person was actually older than they really look, but a teenager. And he was upset that I live, now he doesn't know where I live. He's never been to my place. But who am I to live in a big home by myself? See, it's the contempt. They, that's what I'm getting at. That, and I kind of talked about this before. That see, people may be quiet and they watch your habit, and they may watch, want to find out where you live and what you're doing and this and that, and they're quiet, but they're watching. And I saw in history, there was a movie that two documentaries I saw. One on Algeria. I may mention about this maybe 2 weeks ago. Look up the history of Algeria, and there was something also with Persia/Iran. And both of those countries went through something. You had a population of people who were invaded by European forces, and they were quiet for the time that they were colonized, and then they committed acts of violence on you. That's what happened. Yep, in Algeria, um, you had an Algerian leader. He became the first president, native president there. But before he came into power, he fought for the French. See, in World War II, see everything happens with these wars. Um, you had um, World War II, and the people, the colonies of France. So if you were an African or whatever, or Pacific Islander, you fought for the French, your French army. And he said to himself that here he's fighting for France in World War II, but he says, can't we fight for Algeria? So when after the war, he came back home to Algeria. And then I guess he organized people. Now the locals, the non-Europeans that lived there, they're primarily are Muslim, and they speak Arabic, and they were real quiet. And the French and the Muslims, as they're called, worked together. Everything seemed lovey. And then they striked, and there was a murder of, I think, the initial 6 people. And then it escalated. Yeah. So these people, I mean, they played together, they swam together in Algeria, in Iran/Persia. They were under a system, a royal system that was in place for thousands of years. And they too were quiet. And then there was a conflict, and then they were taken over by the religious order of Persia because they didn't want modernization. Hear that, people? Modernization. And they lashed out. And that's what happened. You know the rest of the story of Persia/Iran, right? So what I'm getting at, that, see, people here, anywhere in Africa, really, they could be quiet for a season, but sometimes their sentiment comes out, and it came out in that little boy, a child, teenager. He's probably a teenager, but he looked young. He's small, and I'm a 60-plus-year-old woman. I don't live here for free. He lives with his family. But his mindset was, see, these foreigners or these people having, living by themselves, but they live in a home. I rent this, and I'm renting from a native. Hello? Yeah, I'm not taking from anybody. I'm not taking from anybody. I'm very respectful. I follow the rules, and anybody could rent out any space. You got the money to rent it, you move in, right? So, but the sentiment is that from his mouth that foreigners are taking what they feel is theirs. Maybe you feel that it is yours. So, but you need money. So again, it's a resource issue, and it's a system. Even within the same country, some have money. Oh yes, you have natives here, native-born people here, who have money, and you have those without, and some. It seems like those who assimilate more into this what you call civilization prospers, and you have some people who are better at gathering money. Yes, people like Gates, people like Elon, or you have people out there who learn the game. I don't know the game, people. I'm just a regular person, and I believe in live and let live. And if you want something, work towards it. But a lot of things you think that you need, you just want it. You don't need it. You want it. You want the illusion of wealth. It's like they never said anything to you until they see it. See, a real hunger, they're already asking for it because they don't have it. If they don't have food, they're starving. They're asking food. They want food. They want it. They're scrounging around for it. But see, when they see someone that appears to have more than they, that lust comes out and they want what they think you have. And what they think you have could be just an illusion. I know of people from when I lived in Hawaii, and it came to pass because they had showed me their bank book statement. Yeah, they did. And there were two people, and they both had bank accounts, and they both had like each one had what I had, and they can put their income together, so they have two incomes. And they were trying to get money from me. Why? Because they perceived. See, these were uh, people of the peasantry that live in Hawaii. They're not even then they weren't even Hawaiians. They were Japanese people, Japanese peasantry that lived on a farm. They lived with the father. The father had died of old age at the house. And when they called for help for their father, the fire trucks came. It seems like when there's someone die at home or whatever, the fire trucks come for whatever reason, and they condemned the house as being dangerous, and they knocked it down, or they had the house, demolished right then on the spot after they got the guy's body out, and then they became homeless. Yeah, I saw. Even you could tell that the property, everything was in bad shape. It was a wooden frame house. They were farmers. They only paid for water once a year, but everything, they lived, like the modern day peasantry, and the illusion that I had money, and they didn't. They didn't want to spend their money, and it's like, wow. Now I did help. I did. They asked me. Women asked me to buy them something that they needed something to eat. Um, but then I'm saying, at a later date, they show me it's really weird, and it's cultural too. They want you to know how much they paid for something. They had we had uh, ate at their home once, me and some other people, and then they show you the receipt of what they paid for things. It's just a cultural thing. And then and then they had showed me their a bank book account, and here they're acting like they're poor. They He should have made what I made. But because of the illusion, they thought I had more. And I did not. It's really something. I think, see, some of us have a persona, and that persona could be misunderstood, right? And they may think because you come from the US mainland, it's different. When you go overseas, people, because let's say of your accent or your language that you speak or how you dress, it can communicate with others, whether you're wealthy or poor. And one's perception, you don't create someone's perception. They have it in their own mind and they'll judge you. We all judge on some level, but it's all part of a system. And it's a system that we're born into, and it's a system that we may even die into. And so it's like a race of trying to gather this thing called money, and now they're changing the monetary system to an electrical, we call it a digital or electronic system of exchange. And if you can't play in the game, you're out. So yeah, I want to live. It's my dream to live what you call off grid. I don't want to be dependent on the system. I mean, there's always going to be some type of dependency on something because you do live here. But my dream is to live a natural life and to produce my own food. I mean, not 100% of my food, but I want to learn how to raise food. Yeah, I planted more beans. Yes, the beans, and I planted squash yesterday. Yeah, yeah. So I got to teach myself how to grow food, and acquire a green thumb. So yeah, people. Yeah, and if you can capture your own rainwater, you know, do so. Yeah, do things to empower yourself. My whole point in doing this live stream is about awareness and self empowerment and to prevent you from doing something foolish like committing acts of violence. Do not do acts of violence. Stay at home, be at peace with yourself, and maybe think of ways that, hey, how could you get out of this matrix? Yet this is a fake system. I really do believe that this is part of a, what do you call it? A virtual reality system. And I think it was placed upon us as that movie. Someone referred me to a movie this morning about this Jesuit. It was a documentary, like a story. And this Jesuit had believed that he found the secret that this world system is a fake system. And like the matrix, that the people in, the beings that are in power are here to extract your energy. And I think the people who have gotten secrets to this hidden system, and I think we call it the um, secret societies, know about it. And anybody who starts to really understand how it works, they're removed. Okay, that's just my opinion. So yeah, that's what I want to share today. I thought it was important. Yeah, I think we are being used as battery sources, and they use fear to control us, and the fear of not having. So please be careful. Yeah, and please pray for me. My situation here with the person who is to do the lawn, and I gave him a lot of chance. 8, 9 months is long enough. Sorry, 8 or 9 months is long enough. He told the person over and over again, Yeah, my safety is very important to me, and I don't like people eavesdropping at my window. You see his bald head and the shadow of his head right. Yeah, and he was standing there for a couple of seconds. That's why I got real quiet. Yeah, that was at 8:30 Rwandan time. Yeah. So yeah, I should have. Too bad I didn't have my camera to show that his head there. Oh well. So yeah, yeah. Please pray for my situation and my safety also. And yeah, I have every right to speak out and with proof. Hey, someone's not doing their job, and even try to help them out. You know, sometimes when you're good to people, they consider that an act of weakness. They don't respect people who are kind because it's perceived as a weakness. Well, this is a food for thought, people. Be careful how you too may be perceived. Are you perceived as weak? Are you perceived as strong? Okay. Yeah. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you again for this opportunity to speak to you all. Peace, love, joy, and harmony to the whole planet. Until next time, okay? See you. Bye bye.